Hello, I'm here. Gosh, I just got all sidetracked and everything. I keep on finding so many things of interest at the moment, strangely, these times. So I'm really excited about sharing this one. Oh goodness, this one's falling apart. Now I say about it, I have kept all of these. I might mend that a little bit later. I think hopefully I should stay together. I'm not using glue, so there's always a possibility they can come apart. So we're going to make this wonderful modular star. It seems a bit of a mystery who's discovered and designed this. It's so elegant and beautiful, quite kind of spiky and strange as well. If any of you know who's invented it, please do let me know. I've been asking around, and people who are always brilliant at knowing who does things don't seem to know, so it seems as if it's a bit of an unknown, but I love it. We're going to have to be quite patient today because there's 16 parts in it. They're actually quite simple, so it will just be quite meditative and relaxing. Hello Stephen, hello Deborah, Anka, thank you for joining as well. Fantastic. So you've made a beautiful one. You've been using these gorgeous little papers. So I have also been using things like these gorgeous papers for making cranes. Can be very pretty. All sorts of gorgeous colours. These are all actually from Colour Tree, which is the British Origami Society shop, which I do recommend because it's run by enthusiasts. It's very reasonable prices, but they're good quality. They're from people who really care about origami. So get gorgeous little papers, she says now. So you get these lovely patterns, lots and lots of different colours. So I made a little star here. There we go, which is rather pretty. Hello Julie, thank you for coming along. Excellent, fantastic. And you're with Isabel as well. Fantastic. So goodness, I mean, I've been offering a live session since March. I think it was maybe at the end of March. I decided every Wednesday I'm going to offer a session at 2:00, and I've been doing that ever since. I've taken kind of a couple of week breaks off during Christmas, which was very good for me. I felt that was important to look after yourself, your own self-care, because do your best to look after others, but it has to come from yourself being looking after yourself. So that was really good. But otherwise, I'm here every Wednesday at 2, and obviously people of all ages are at home. It's a hard thing to do, isn't it, this isolation? I have to say the origami just gives me so much inspiration, connection, excitement, endless discovery. I'm bursting with possibilities. Eric, hello. Oh, that's okay. There'll be quite a bit of watching because they're going to make each of these little spikes. This has also inspired me for something else, which I will be revealing in due course. A rather exciting project, which I think will be relevant to us all. Anchor, yeah, really nice papers. I also had a go at going big. I was curious. This is held together with PVA glue. Way! It's big. So I happily found that it was just a weekend magazine, and I did everything by tearing up. It looks huge. Just hello, I could do it through here. So it was a magazine, and I tore out pages. Yeah, I'm just going to be like this now. This is going to be my new look. So with the magazine, tore out pages, made squares. The only way I can speak to you, or at the side. And it was really satisfying. You just see this was actually an issue which was all inspired by celebrating Black culture and the kind of the great support for the Black Lives Matter movement. So it's rather nice. It captures some of those colours of vibrancy, which I rather like. That captures a moment in time. With magazine, it's quite soft paper, so I found it absolutely fell apart all the time if you tried to pick it up. So I had to cover it with on this side a layer of PVA, which made it stick together. But it's quite nice because now I can actually pick it up. So I'm wondering about if I do enough layers, whether I could even hang it outside. I don't know. Thinking of doing a small one and putting it on my door. We could maybe hang it because I'm missing the Christmas decorations. So maybe you could go really close to PVA, but you do need PVA. I think as soon as it gets big, it gets really quite unstable. Maybe it feels like could be a hat. What do you think? Kind of a stylish, not really stylish, but fun. Maybe you could go bigger still. I'd love to see what you make. Anyway, that's just to show you. The one we'll make out of 2 pieces of A4 paper, if you're going to do it that way, is this size, which is still a really nice size. I think that would be the kind of right size to do for your door. But I think if you're to put it outside, you definitely need to coat it with lots of glue. This at the moment is sticking, it's holding in on itself. So, goodness, oh, it's after 5 minutes past. Sorry, I've got really distracted today, but in a good way. Been doing a nice session with nurses. It's really nice to bring some origami, and saying that it's the only time when they don't think about horrible things that obviously, so it's really nice. Oh, varnish. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's true. PVA is watertight. Excellent. Practical tips from Eric. I don't know whether I've got enough for nail varnish. I'd maybe need some other varnish, wouldn't I? That would be really nice, actually. You could do some beautiful decorations. And again, this is something that's flat, so you could post it as well. Oh, great. Yes, it would. Could do some lovely decorations. So yeah, I'm excited about this. And then next week, we're going to do a really lovely turning sort of flower. I gave people a bit of a vote. That was quite fun. I wondered if this was almost a bit too edgy and a bit too exciting at the moment, but no, it seems not. So that's a good thing. So, right, I'm going to move the computer around. And if you could, grab yourself 2 pieces of paper. So I'm going to do one with just plain whites and one. This is just copies of my drawings. I've been drawing about the heart. So you may have seen that if you looked at the film as well. Just so they're a little bit different from each other. Grab yourself something to press on. Excellent. And we've had a lot more people following the films as well, which is lovely. It's been such a joy to see that people who haven't done this since they were children, or maybe they've never done it, having it a go. These films, for me, are all dedicated to my colleagues at UCH, thinking of them so very much. I've been making little wellbeing packs of origami, and it's these sessions hopefully offer my colleagues support, but it's also obviously for the wider community. We are all in this time of isolation and anxiety, and I think the more we can do to help each other, the better. So we're also offering our support and solidarity by being happy together. And I think almost everything's mixed up, isn't it? I mean, in a house, you can suddenly have a child and, all different ages together. So first of all, going to make 2 squares. So we're going to make 4 squares out of our A4. Sorry, we're going to first of all just take a piece of paper and fold it in half. Yes, let's go simple. So simply fold a piece of paper in half. So we're going to end up making 16 squares. So what we'll do is we make 2 squares out of each A4. That's 4 in total. And each of those squares we can then divide up into 4. So it's actually rather good. You only need 2 pieces of paper. As always, carefully lining up the sides. It's always lovely and pleasing to do that. And little nick there. At the moment, I've been doing combining because I'm a scientist originally. And I've been combining sort of things like drawing and then folding, because it's wonderful to go from the flat and learning and then transforming it to something 3D. I hope will engage people with science in different ways. Of course, origami is science. It's engineering. It's about forces. It's about what's inside our body, and it's art. We're going to take a side, so basically making a square. I'll end up with a little strip at the side. There's DNA encodes proteins, and it's the way that they fold up that makes the shape, and therefore the job. And if they're not in the right position, then it won't work, or it could cause problems. But ultimately, everything's about folding. Mind-blowing. Totally mind-blowing. So, again, getting rid of this strip. So far, we just made 1 square. So with your square, if we could divide it up into 4. So we're making a collection of 16 matching squares. So folding that in half. I think this one's going to take longer than the half an hour, isn't it? But that's all right. Modular always takes more time, which I think is what also what's rather beautiful about it. It encourages you to take time, and it becomes easier and easier because you start to know what you're doing. Folding this one in half. This is actually quite a simple piece of modular, but it's very effective. I think very nice. And as you saw us, you can start folding up other things. So yeah, experiment. I'd love to see what you make. Can you go bigger than I have? So I've got 2 squares. Lovely. Oh, Paula, excellent. Thank you for joining us. No, all we're doing at the moment is making squares. So, Paula, we've got, all I'm doing is taking A4. It's fine, you've got a letter, haven't you, in the US. I just folded it in half, making a square out of one side, square out the other. Each square I'm dividing into 4, and I'm doing that twice. We're making 16 little matching squares. So I've made 2 squares there. So that's what we're doing. I hope that made sense. I presume because you do origami, it will have made some kind of sense. Yeah. Goodness. Thinking how the peace dove last week is very, very relevant in America. What can you say? Let's hope. This corner making a square. Yeah, how quickly anarchy can form and how much society is about being kind, being gentle, listening to each other. Move this strip and a respect of some really basic order. I think origami is all about order, isn't it? In a lovely way, in a gentle, playful way. Again, removing strip at the side. And again, you've got a square. We're going to divide it into 4. I'm afraid a lot of this will first of all just be making squares. And it's quite simple. Most of all, it's about time together. So kind of a time to chat. Yeah, really nice mobile. I agree, Eric. Actually, I don't know if you can see at the back. Maybe you can't. There, it's a hanging. I can't really see it. It is actually a hanging dove. So I've put one on a thread. Really nice thing to hang up. I realised I was missing all those sort of festive decorations. So I think this star could be a good decoration too. You may find that you possibly might need glue, but hopefully not. I haven't, apart from the very big one. But if you're hanging it up, you might find it starts to fall a bit apart, so you might have to, if you want it to last longer. That's it, but the joy is trying not to. Go. A couple here. So I'm trying to create a little tiny flip book of a heart, and it's so complicated how the electrical signal is conducted and then how that triggers the muscle contractions, and the order of that all being really important in order to keep you alive. And at the level of the tissue and the cells, quite extraordinary. And all these pumps more than every second. Extraordinary. It has to reset each time. So another piece of paper we're getting folding in half. We're just making little squares, 16 little squares. So if you just fold a piece of paper in half, and yeah, that makes sense, Eric. Yeah, you're very good on the practical side. I agree. And actually, if anything, it's this copy paper that's held together better than anything finer or softer. Again, making a square. It is a lovely thing when it holds on itself. Let's try to get this exact. That does not look very exact. That attention to detail. Get things right. If only we could do that with everything. I'm sure it is about this little bit of control, you know, particularly when the world's not really under control at the moment. Then it just makes you feel that bit better. Yeah. There we go. Removing this strip. And so I thought this month, January, obviously it's a bit of a dark time of year and a bit hard to adapt after Christmas. Clearly this is a rougher January than most, that's for sure. And so I thought I'd bring along kind of folds that are a little bit more taxing, a little bit more edgy, a bit exciting, as a way of kind of pepping us all up, giving us a little bit of boost that we need. Folding in half. Here we go. I hope the film won't cut out at half an hour. It sort of did before. Don't know if you remember this before Christmas. That fold went just cut off. I would guess it's become a bit too big. So hoping I don't overrun too much. We'll see. Go. Almost there. How are you all getting on? I hope. Yeah. Well, actually, I have got a guillotine. I use a guillotine as well, but I've rather enjoyed showing you how you could do it without any need for such things. I think just using your own hands, actually tearing is surprisingly accurate. But so it's super accessible. It's also part of the relaxation, I think, is adding these folds, and tearing is also another bit of a pleasure. Letting out that tension on the folds, and then it's a good strong fold and things work quite well. Almost there. It's surprising how long it takes. 16 doesn't sound like many pieces, but it does take time. There we go. And, that's it. Almost there. Hard to know how you're all getting on. So when you're busy, you haven't exactly got free hands. It's Eric who's got some free hands there. A lot of people have been making the stars already. I think we've got over 180 views, which is, for me, is good. So my daughter thinks that's quite small. She's probably right, but anyway, quality, not quantity. So I hope you made your 4 squares and then divided those squares into 4. So you should end up with 16 of these. I'm going to wait just a tiny moment for people to catch up. It means I can grab a mouthful of my coffee. Yeah. How are you getting on? Do you need more time? Very welcome. Yeah, one of my rings has started to fall apart. Once one part falls off, then the other does. But it's all there. This one actually is from some TV guides. I thought last year I watched a lot of TV. Let's make them into a ring. And actually it clearly looks quite like the virus itself, doesn't it, the structure? And thought about how, in a weird way, it's like a collage that you've scrambled everything up with something that looks like a virus. How it's rearranged, but it's brought a different order to things. Some things will be quite good. Yeah, it's quite a nice one, isn't it? That was just TV guide, but it's probably because of the smooth bits of paper that can slip out again if you're not careful. We have 16. Well done, Julie. Excellent. Are you there working as a team? That's really good. Yeah, I reckon this would be quite good as a family thing to do, because you can all be making little pieces. So here goes. Shall we get started? It's a simple fold, so you'll soon get the idea. So even if you haven't finished doing all your 16 pieces, you can always just work on one little piece and you'll soon get the idea as to how to do it. It's a simple fold. Very clever. So one of these squares, if you fold it in half, to give that middle line. That's it. There we go. Open it up, and we're just going to take the corner and line it up into the middle. And we're doing that with each corner, so we're bringing it into the middle. Is that called a blint space? Anyway, I tend not to know the names very well of these things, but then most people don't. So it's a bit like making the fortune teller, this. So taking the outside and bringing it to the middle, and doing that for each of the corners. So that's a really simple step, isn't it? Nice and exact. That's it. Looks like an envelope now, doesn't it? And folding it to the middle, like so. So hopefully that's worked. So it's purely a square, folding it to the middle point. And there's not much more to go for a module, honestly. It's pretty simple. So we're going to take a side and fold it to the middle. So taking a side and folding it to that middle line, like so. And the same with this one. So you're making a sort of a kite-like shape. I'm attempting to do it into the camera. It definitely makes it harder. I'm going to have to direct it down again. That's a bit more exact. So sorry, so I had it this way around. So it was, I just simply took the sides, fold them up to the middle line, and then your next step is to take this bit sticking out and fold it back so it's all tucked away. Make sure there isn't a bit sticking out, and make sure it's at the back, that point is in the middle line. So it looks like that. So it was down here, and I just folded it back. So it looks like this. And then your last step is this way around, folding it down in half. And you've got a little pocket there. And that's what we use to put the next spike in. There we go. So it should look like that. That's not particularly exact, is it? Can I give the excuse of it's not so easy doing it into a camera? No excuses. There we go. Excellent. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Paula. So I still feel like a little bit of a outsider origamist, but I'm very happy to be so. I feel the same way as an artist as well. So I'm going to take a piece and fold it in half first of all. Oh, actually, I'm going to keep my picture I want on the outside. So if you've got any colours, turn it round so that you're seeing the blank side. And we're going to fold it in half. Yeah, I feel a bit of an outsider with art too. Very happy with that as well, because I think everybody is an artist and we can do things in our own way. So we've made that middle line, and then again taking the corner, my rather rough and ready corner, and bringing it again to that middle line. There we go. And you're going to do that with each corner. It might be quicker for me if I do it on a pace, but that's basically what we're doing with each one. So it becomes kind of easier and easier the more you do something. You may find that you need to fiddle around till things match up. Enjoy taking your time. So it's quite nice if you use something with some patterns on as well. I've enjoyed making a star with a little bit of my drawing in there. It's a heart getting mixed up. So it's the same thing again. You'll soon get the idea. We take the side, slanting line, and then bring it up to the middle line. Like so. Line it all up. Be nice and careful. Take your time. That's it. And this is just what we do for each of them. So there, it becomes quite relaxing as you know what to do afterwards. Again, the side to the middle and anchor. Are you using some different papers as well? Because you've already made a beautiful one. But the thing is, this is rather lovely to experiment with different sorts of papers. So I think with origami, you can do things many times and it doesn't lose its magic, which I think is something rather wonderful. Try out different ideas, and again, well, it's not looking that perfect, but this little triangle, tuck it back. So on the back, you can see it there. Make sure it's in the middle and fold it back. So again, you've got this little pocket on the outside. And the principle is very simple, very beautiful, is you've got a little pocket here. There's a little pocket. And here you've got, if you have them both the same way around, and here you've got these sort of little points there, and you can tuck. Have to really concentrate. You can concentrate and then tuck in on both of those little sides. If you can see, and push it in, and it gives a tiny little angle. And 16 little angles like that produces right round in a full circle. So it becomes very sort of self-guided, really. It's like a little mini hedgehog at the moment. So that's what we're doing. You can see why I do a little less modular, because it could take us forever. But that is its joy. But I will just fold, and hopefully you're getting the idea too. So I fold it to the middle line, taking the corner to the middle, and keep going. And hopefully you'll find yourself developing a bit more of a pace. But it's not about rushing. It's not about the end thing. It's about just enjoying this little journey, this time. Just enjoy being careful, because it's a lovely thing to do. And enjoying the shapes and the structure. And again, slanting side, going to bring it to the middle line, like so. That's it. Lovely. And the same here. You could do lots of the same steps together, but actually there's so few steps that I think this one's doable. Again, take that little top triangle, and hopefully you'll find yourself remembering this quite quickly. Well, maybe not, I don't know. Hello Junid, thanks for joining us. Excellent. And then folding it back. Excellent. Oh, that's a great idea, Eric. Tracing paper with a blue light shading. Ha ha. So making, are you thinking of the doves? That's a lovely idea. And again, you'll be able to plug it in. And slowly your circle emerges. And yeah, I think this thicker paper is actually the best thing. So each time folding in half, folding the corners into the middle. It's one of patience. Taking the side, folding it to the middle. Oh, nice, our little regular get together, isn't it? Quite a few people have been watching these live sessions afterwards as well. We've had over 100 watching the last one. There's something different, isn't there, about it being live? There you there. It's really nice. Again, that little triangle, folding it back, and then going to that, making sure that's in the middle. Such a good design. And then bringing it back, opens up a little hole there. Right. So yeah, just keep going. What can I say? Keep going. If this is the coloured side, move that to the back, fold into the half. corners into the middle. So I'm just going to sort of keep plodding on and sort of chatting at the same time, I think, because there's probably no need for me to explain each time. You should be getting the hang of it by now. As I am. That's it. Oh, that'd be lovely to see some Dove Mobile. That's an interesting idea with the transparent material. That's really good. So I got some transparent material that I've made some snowflakes from, but tends to, if you fold it too much, it tends to break. But you're right, Dove actually is a quite simple one, so it should work. Maybe experimenting. Wonder what this would be like in transparent. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it'd be good. I've got actually some different coloured transparent materials. So you can start slotting in more. You can see the circle is building. It's flattening a bit. You can see how people, when they show modular, they'll often do a film where they show one piece very carefully and then just do a speeded up. And here's one I did before. Here we go. Next one. So if it does cut out at any point, oh wow, that's an interesting idea, right? Gosh, and it stays. That's a brilliant idea. Seriously. Baby Walter, you are amazing at materials. What? Wow, you must have some way. Did you use that in your career? Were you a practical person in what you did? You have a great understanding of materials. You always make me think. I'll experiment with that. Because normally you try and have quite clean fingers when you touch paper in case it marks it, but it's the opposite as well. Try to make it as oily as possible and see how your paper looks. Wow, very interesting idea. And then, well, I suppose it will transmit the light better as well. There we go. Yeah, this has been quite a lot of making, wouldn't it, Eric? Yeah. Next one. You have to put by time, don't you, for the modular? Been amazed how many people have been doing this as well, but I think it's nicer to do a more in-depth project. This is relatively simple modular, but it is a nice one. Here's by the desk. Well, maybe no wonder then you enjoyed, gosh, finding your practical side. It may be an escapism to everything else. Still, numbers are all, this is all about numbers too, probably. It's all about maths, really. I'm a scientist. I can't say on the maths side I felt that strong, but it is ultimately about patterns, and it ultimately is at the heart of science. Very much so. I think analysing data is just one of the most exciting points being a scientist when something reveals itself. Very exciting. It's finding that pattern and order and making sense. And a sense of wonder. Here we go. Oh, that's really lovely. Okay, I'm slotting in each time. I hope you're finding it's working with the slotting. Are you amazed how long this takes? I feel like I am. Right. I'm just going to try to do this a bit quicker. So you'll find it takes longer. That's fine. You can easily do that. I might do holding a few at the same time. Often it's a quicker way of doing things. because then you're just doing the same movement over again. But it's like factory work that you work in batches. Not as though I've done that. I've been fortunate. I understand how with any production line you find a little way of doing things. Hopefully you're doing yours as well. Well, Eric, you're watching me, aren't you? So folding each in half into the middle. I reckon this will be quicker. Not as I'm just trying to do it. But I'm slightly concerned that at some point the film might just block out if it's very long. There you go. Yeah, so next week we'll do a really beautiful flower. Which I was wanting to fold a flower for a friend for a card. Lost a parent, very sad. Not COVID, but I wanted to be able to make a really beautiful flower for a card, but which also worked flat. So that was the one I found. It works really well to make something very beautiful. So you may also find it's a beautiful thing to be able to make as a card for other people too. Again, it's a little bit more of a tricky one. This isn't tricky in terms of folding, is it? It's just tricky in terms of number. A little production line. So hopefully that'll be good. And then I'll give you a choice of another couple weeks after. So we're pretty much lined up for January, which feels quite good. I think during the festive folds, I did a load of filming all at once, and actually I found that really helped me because it's good to not constantly feel that you've got to think about things. So again, it's looking after your own well-being. And it's a bit like this, that if you do a batch of things, then oh, it's our phone. Hopefully someone else will answer it. That's it. Oh, that's nice, Deborah. So you made a card from it. Oh, that's lovely. Really nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, origami is just lovely for gifts, isn't it? I think it's almost there's something about it that's not too charged. I was thinking about poems. I'm asking a friend if she might consider sharing her haiku as well, which is a little bit like the origami. I think a lot of Western art is about expressing yourself, which definitely has its place. But there's something quite interesting about looking more externally. This isn't so obviously about self-expression, although it is. I think it's often looking at nature and forces and thinking a little less of yourself, which actually I think is a really useful thing for our well-being. So taking the side and folding it to the middle. Presuming that wasn't an important phone call. And again, I'm going to do that for each one. Because I've done a load together, it gets easier. So I'm going to do a little stack of those. Yeah, I think there's something very useful about doing something a little less obviously about yourself, but nature is always very rooting. In this case, I have to say it looks to me like a virus, but viruses are incredibly beautiful. And this virus is a very spiky one. So the coronavirus, the corona refers to the rays. Looks like rays. Viruses look very much like modular pieces of origami. They're very beautiful. And I think there's something powerful about wanting to learn. I think that helps the fear. And of course, we shouldn't be afraid of this virus. We should definitely really be keeping very safe in this time, keeping away from each other, not mixing, wearing masks, thinking carefully about your hands. Be super careful for yourself, for the people you're with, and for society. We care for each other, we all live in a better place. But I think science also helps you learn about the beauty of nature and how fascinating and amazing viruses are too, because it's actually that fascination which has given us the hope that we needed, which are scientists wanting to help. But I think it also comes from a real just fascination for life, how things work, and that brings us all to a better place. So I'm actually here in Oxford, so it's been a really nice feeling to feel hope. Scientists aren't usually that hopeful without real reason, and I did get the feeling quite early on that the vaccine was going well, so that was really nice to get that feeling, because it was certainly no certainty that a vaccine would be possible. Now we have different vaccines, all very effective, which is just astonishing. Yeah, I completely agree, Eric. I don't understand why people just think about themselves, because if everyone does that, what kind of a place do we live in? We should all be thinking of each other, because actually if we do that, the whole society is better. Yeah, I think there is, I do think in the West we're a little bit too self-orientated. Mostly, maybe that doesn't matter, but it probably does all matter in the end. Even things like the environment, we all expect to do what we want to do, but actually overall that has a really bad impact. That's it. What can you do? This is a way of keeping ourselves mentally well, connected, excited about things. Being very safe, being happy at home. Maybe you're making other people smile on what you've made or sent or shared. And if you're happier in yourself, then you can hopefully help others more too. Yeah. Well, in a way, the miracle, Eric, comes from our own body, that it's our own body that fights off infections. But definitely the vaccine helps get your body ready to then fend off a virus. So it's our own antibodies and our own immune system that looks after us, but we need that help to get it ready. Otherwise, it can have a bad effect. And obviously, it's a bit weird, isn't it, this virus, because it can sometimes be that overreaction of your body too. But clearly, the vaccines help get you to the place you need to be. I hope you have one soon, Eric. I presume you're that little bit older, so you should have it soon. All of us just have to be patient till we're offered. Say yes. I can't wait for the day I've had it. But then obviously you have to wait that 3 weeks for your immunity to develop. So not to expect if you've had a vaccine that you're instantly okay. And it's still down to us all to lead a good example. Otherwise, again, it erodes that trust. And acting well, I think. Yeah, all we can do is set a good example. It involves sacrifice, I think. I haven't seen my parents since my previous Christmas now in person. I'm not going to see them until we've had a vaccine. And it's really hard. But you know what? In an odd way, I decided rather than lamenting on the things you can't do, actually, this time's been very close because I've spoken to them pretty much every day. And that's been a really lovely thing. Whereas we didn't speak every day before, whereas we do now. So we're actually sharing every little moment of your day. It's been really lovely. So I think rather than going, oh, well, I need to mix because of mental health, no, you can reach out to each other and do more. It means that you have to redouble your efforts sort of caring for each other. And the phone, computer is an amazing way of being in touch. And it really does matter. Showing your care and your love, or posting and writing things is good. Yeah. Oh. Oh, you've got a while to wait as well then, Eric. Yeah. We just have to be patient, but at least we know it's well worth the wait. So I'm going to keep on assembling these little spikes and I'm done. You may find it's slower. Maybe you're finding it's faster. Maybe I have no idea. But hopefully you've got the idea of what to do. What an amazing thing this is. I love it. Yeah. So I'm afraid I'm thinking viruses for this. But I've got some, in due course, some exciting things to share around that. Developing some resources to help people understand more about viruses and how vaccines work, how your body works. Yeah. It's the hope we've all needed, isn't it? Because there really is no other way. Hospitals just wouldn't be able to cope if it was constantly like that. But it's not just hospitals, it's people. They're people who look after each other. And we're not machines. It's down to us all to really make that effort for each other. It is worth it. In a strange way, maybe I've actually found myself enjoying, that we haven't been able to do things and you just have to acceptance, or, finding joy in just the same. Would you should go for a walk in a nearby park and just finding a variety just in that. You'd think I'll go to the same place. Well, each time it's a little bit different. I spot different things in nature, and I've been looking in paths and finding fossils. So, not quite sure what's going on there. Maybe things have got tucked in a bit there. Dear. Yeah, so, you can find even, places that are nearby, you can suddenly start looking in new ways, which I find a rather lovely thing. Right, we're almost there. Yeah, valuing each other. How amazing will it be to hug someone when it's only one more vaccinated is safe? But what a wonderful thing that'll be. How much we're going to treasure that hug. Probably all just cry so much, won't we? It's so emotional. Or maybe we'll won't want to. Well, it's changed us, hasn't it? It has made us appreciate things. So this sort of thicker copy paper, I think that feels fairly sort of solid. Oh, wow. I can have some more. Oh, thanks, Eric. Yay. So it worked. I hope this worked for you. If you haven't finished in this time, don't worry, you can keep going on your little squares. I'm sure you've got the idea of it. And I always record a video as well, so you've also got that there. As I figured, it would take longer than half an hour, this one, but I hope it's been worth it. Maybe you could varnish it, maybe you could hang it up. It's certainly got a vibrancy, hasn't it? Yeah. So enjoy. I love how if you move it, it looks really strange too. Doesn't it look weird on the camera? I'm not quite sure why it does. Don't know if you're getting a strange effect, but it's woo. So enjoy your spiky modular star. It's a bit of a superstar as well. Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad, Julie. Yeah. And with Isabel. Yeah. I'm so glad you've enjoyed that. It's a really good one. And you can also, snowflakes. And you can also start, maybe the snowflakes I could try folding a paper and then coating with oil and saying, that's given me an idea. You're on your 14th. Well done. You've only got 2 more to go and you'll have closed up your circle. So hopefully I've been with you while you've done most of your circle. And you could maybe hang it on a piece of string. I think it would hold quite well. Make a very striking piece. Bit of energy for the new year. Oh, well done, Stephen. Excellent. I'd love to see your stars as well. If you happen to be on social media, it's okay, Eric. I know you're not. But if you are on Facebook, I set up a group. Join the fold, Origami to Beat Boredom. Is that right? I keep on forgetting. And on Twitter at Dr. Lizzie Burns. And yeah, I'd love to see what you make. And don't worry if you not on either of those, doesn't matter. The main thing is I hope you've enjoyed it. So I wish you a good rest of your week, and I'll be back with another fold next week. So I'll be here live, same time, 2 o'clock on a Wednesday. Probably won't take quite as long as this. This was modular for you. Enjoy. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care. Keep safe. Keep well. Keep up your distancing. You're doing well. We should all give ourselves a pat on the back. I know it's hard, but it's out of care and out of love that we sacrifice a bit. It's not much compared to, I'm sure, what so many people have gone for in the past. Look after yourselves, everyone. Bye-bye.